wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. This is what we got to understand, folks. David was obviously seeing the very smallest part of matter. If there is a prion, David saw that. And he knew that was smaller than the boson. And that was smaller than the lepton. That was smaller than the atom. That was smaller than the molecule. David saw this stuff. So when he said, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, you see, our problem is, folks, we only want to deal with one level of who we are. And what we don't want to go down and let the Holy Ghost, where the Bible said, deep calleth unto deep. We don't want to go down to where the prions are. We want to leave some possibility for that thing to keep growing and remanifest. We want to deal with surface stuff. We want to deal with stuff that we see and can feel, and then what we want to do, we want to whitewash it and cover it. We don't want God to go deep. You see, folk don't like to go into the deep places of the Word where they find out they may have some issues that they don't want nobody to know about. We don't want that. We don't want you to go down to where those quarks are. Don't go down to where the bosons are. Don't mess with my prions. Don't mess with my little strings of DNA that are so small that you can't even see them. I want to hold that for myself. You see, I want you to understand what is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance means thinking one thing and confessing another. Cognitive dissonance. Thinking disorderly. I'm confessing I love you, Frank, but inside I can't stand it. You see, don't mess with my bosons. Don't mess with my quarks. I got this thing in me, and I don't want nobody to go that deep. Just let me pretend on the surface that I'm all right. Let me have that Church of Constantine smile, which is fake. But don't go down inside of me. You start to go in too deep, I start to get angry. Because I like my quarks. I like my leptons and bosons. I like my little string of deformed DNA. Don't go into those places. Keep it on the surface. As a matter of fact, don't deal with my molecular structure at all. Just let me pretend that I'm right. Just let me do the church thing. Just let me do the things that seem to be right. But down on the inside, I've got this cognitive dissonance. I'm saying one thing, but I'm believing another. I'm saying, I love you, Lord, but I have got to get out of here because I got a doctor's appointment at 1 o'clock. Cognitive dissonance. You don't believe God. You believe what's in your DNA. And your DNA said you've been fed unbelief from the whole system. Notice how the system works you medically. Anybody in your family ever had this disease? Anybody before them had it? Anybody before them had it? Well, we're going to put you on this because it looks like you might have it. Well, you know what that does? When they put you on that medicine, it opens up that, it activates that DNA that would have stayed dead if you had stayed in the Word. But as soon as they gave you that medication, it woke it up. Now you got that disease and you're going to have it. Oh, we do not understand the simplicity of this book. And we love to have this game we play called American Church. I am so sick of it, I don't know what to do. I told my wife, I said, God, if you can do something for me, I said, I'm going somewhere else. I said, I'm tired of this. I said, because if we can't make any more progress than this, folks, you know, I ain't going to study like I study and come in here to entertain y'all. That's right. I just ain't going to do it. I want some folk that want to get something done. You see, let me tell you something. If we get 4 or 5 of us that can get a hold of this, we'll start a healing business. That's right. That's right. You come see us one time. $500. We're going to deliver you. Bring that offering one time. We ain't got no church. There's just 5 of us. And we're going to see about 10 of y'all a day. And every weekend we're going to be on our yacht somewhere. Oh, y'all think I'm crazy though? I'm sick of this thing we do. So I'm being a little bit strange and comical, but I'm trying to show you something, trying to make a point that this thing is supposed to work. Jesus came in and he physically changed people's bodies. Oh, my. Where's my little piece of paper? Now, quantum means the fixed amount of energy. Physics is the science of dealing with properties, changes, and interactions. So when you talk about quantum physics, you're talking about the energy, the fixed amount of energy that will change properties, bring about changes and interactions. Jesus, that's what he did. He had the power of God in him. And it said that he went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil. But you know what his first level of understanding was? Had the right mind. Had the right mind. You know what he wanted? He wanted everybody to have it. Now let me show you. He had the energy to change properties, bring about changes, and shift physical stuff. And everybody that had a comparable level got what they asked for. Then what did he say? He said he went to certain places and he could do no mighty works there, because there was no corresponding reaction over here. For this thing to work, there's got to be. I was sitting in the doctor's office a couple of years ago. I was sitting next to Dr. Lee. He was a physicist, and we were sitting in there taking chelation. And he was talking about quantum physics. He said, yeah, Dennis, sit down. He was Chinese, you know. I'm sitting there talking to him. He said, yeah, physics. He said, you know, one thing from one place to the other, this move. He said, in physics, he said, things can exchange places without having to move. I'm like, what? That's what you're talking about, Doc. He said, physics. I've been studying that. Thoughts. We'll get into that later. But you'll see what Jesus was talking about. But because there is nothing over here to draw this, there's nothing for it to react to. So ain't nothing going to happen. So if you don't have any faith, if you got cognitive dissonance, when you saying one thing and believing another, ain't nothing going to happen for you. You got to get this thing right down in here. And Jesus said, I don't care how much faith you think you got. If you can't love your neighbor as yourself, I ain't giving you nothing. That's right. He said, because the whole road is tainted. Ain't nothing but debris. And it's going to weaken everything that works in this back and forth exchange, because you don't have the right mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. You think you can love God and hate your neighbor? No. Those two can't exchange places. They can't exchange places. I'm sorry. You can't love God and hate over here and think that you got enough energy over here to draw God in. You can't do it. Is this simple enough? Oh my. You see, God said, son, he said, every one of y'all can be healed. He said, but your energy transfer is wrong. He said, you got a leaky trailer. You got a tanker, but you're leaking fuel. And he said, there can be no exchange. He said, if you leaked all of your fuel out on the highway and you pull up to the station to put the fuel in the ground, in the tank, and you have no fuel in the truck because you lost it, the station is not going to send you a check for something you didn't put in. He said, y'all leaking. And then you come up wanting to get a check, but you ain't got no exchange. You got to be able to exchange. We are not in the right place, folk. David said, I was curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Verse 16, thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. I just told you how that DNA, all of it will look the very same. But he said, before any of them were formed, you saw the same cell, because when the cells start to divide, they all are the same. They just keep dividing. They all are the same. And God said, David said, you saw my brain in that cell. You saw my heart in that one. You saw my legs in that one. You saw my eyes in that one. When as yet, they weren't perfect. They hadn't even done anything but sit there as a glob of jello. And you saw them. In other words, God's ability to see in something that he wants it to be is phenomenal. When are you going to start to see in something that is nothing but a blob what it ought to be, rather than keep putting this narrow-minded, earthly, Constantinian concept on it?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It ain't gonna never be nothing. That ain't what God said about David.
That's right. That's right.
While he was unperfect, while none of his members were fashioned, David said, you saw me. That's why he said to Jeremiah, before you were formed in your mother's womb, formed meaning put together, before your eyes, ears, nose, mouth came into being, I saw you. Do you know that you can take your DNA, a piece of your DNA, and make another replica of you? Can make thousands of them. That's what God did. God said, I can see in that one piece, Dennis. I can see Imani. I can see Nate. I can see Willie, even though it's just one little piece. But I see him. I see his hair color. I see his behavior. I see what size he's going to be. I see all of that before it's formed. He said, when are you going to start to call those things that be not as though they were? When are you going to start to act like me and get into this physics and put the energy in to bring change?
That's right. That's right.
You see, scientists are even figuring out how to take a piece of your DNA and grow new liver, new kidneys from your body. They understand this stuff. Jesus told us we could do that 2,000 years ago. We ain't done it. We ain't done it. And now, why can they do it? Because they are focused on what their job is.
That's right.
We are not focused on our job. We are focused on who we can talk about, who we can lie on, how much crazy stuff we can stir up. I ain't never seen nothing. You go to work, you have problems on your job, but you don't run your mouth for so much, you get your rear end to work. You may talk a little bit, and the supervisor says something to you. No, I didn't say that, I didn't say that, I didn't say that, because you're scared you're going to get fired. But in the church, you do anything you want to, lie on who you want to. You lie on me, you lie on my wife. Even folk that ain't been to the church in years still lying. Isn't that amazing? We can't get a break. We're trying to go somewhere, but because of this Constantinian Christianity. And see, the Constantinian Christianity, let me tell you how it operates. It operates just like what you see in the streets. You see people protest, government sit and watch them, let them do that until they fizzle out. And then they go ahead and keep doing what they're doing. Government lets you fuss and argue, and they'll stir it up. while they working some other evil thing over here to keep your attention off of it. We do the same thing in church. That same mentality comes into the church and we fight. And see, the devil has made us think that if we operate as one in the church, oh, that's some kind of cult. Y'all listen to everything he say? What kind of church is that? Well, you don't listen to nothing your preacher say. One day I'm going to tell you what a cult is. This is not one. This is not one. You see, one of the things about a cult, they're not going to tell you how to think. They're going to tell you what to think. That's right. That's what a cult's going to tell you what to think. A cult is not going to give you freedom. They're going to tell you who to stay away from. A cult is going to control your money. A cult will stand up and say, we need $20,000 today and I need $40,000 next Sunday. And they don't care if you go mortgage your house. They want it. We are not a cult. We are a place of wanting to go into the deep, profound truths of God. Now, if that scares you, then you in some kind of cult already, because that thing is controlling your mind. That's right. If truth scares you, you're already in a cult. And whatever you've been taught from whatever system you came out of, it has you so locked down that you can't receive any more truth. That's a cult. Because it's told you what to think and you can't hear anybody else. And I'm trying to get you to hear. I don't tell you who to watch on TV. I just tell you don't spend so much time in front of it. And know how to take the word of God and put things in proper order. You see, you need to understand what freedom is. A cult does not want your mind to develop. A cult ain't going to tell you what I'm telling you. It ain't going to show you that. It's only going to tell you what the cult leader wants. And that's what you best be doing. A cult, if you don't show up every time the doors are open, you in trouble. I don't see some of y'all for months. I ain't bothering y'all. And then you get mad if I don't come see you. I ain't seen you. We just as backwards in the church as we can be. I'm telling you, this is Constantinian Christianity, what we do in America. We have the same mentality as the government. We vote presidents in. We don't like them, we try to impeach them. We vote pastors in. We don't like them, we try to impeach them. It's Constantinian Christianity, folks. Don't ever get it twisted. This is what we do. And we call it, well, this is a congregational church. No, it is a cult that runs up under Constantine. That's what it is. Constantine has it, and he did it in 325 AD. And the Bible said in Revelation and in Daniel that the beast shall make war with the saints and shall overcome them. Constantine was an antichrist. He put himself in the place of Christ. You watch that YouTube video I told you to watch. You see what I'm talking about. Now, folks, we're going somewhere else. Now, I ain't got time to finish this, but I wanted to put this in your hearing, man, some foundation. And we're going to get into the depth of this. I'm going to be doing it on Sunday morning, and in February, we're going to go into other dimensions of it in Bible study. This will elevate you. Listen to this. Our thoughts and words become the epigenesis of our lives. Told you what epigenesis is. Epigenesis, there are things in us. And your mind is the overruling. And what does epi mean? It means on or around. So when you talk about the epigenesis, Genesis meaning beginning, you have your mind which is on or around anything you're trying to begin. Anything you try to begin, your mind is on or around it. And what is it? these words of ours, these thoughts, they get under the skin of our DNA and can turn certain genes on or off, changing the structure of the neurons in our brains. So our thoughts, imaginations, word and choices can change the structure and function of our brains on every level. Molecular, genetic, epigenetic, and even subatomic. Through our thoughts, we become our own brain surgeons. As a man thinketh. If I can get you to understand that. And we're going to show you some things about when you start thinking, positive or negative, the brain creates flaps. And when that flap fills up, it creates another. In other words, the brain keeps expanding. It's called neuroplasticity. It'll continue to expand and grow. But inside, it's not going to bust your head open, but it'll keep growing internally, and you'll keep putting more and more power in it. When you understand that your words, your thoughts, your behaviors, we're going to get into showing you how behavior sends signals to the brain. You see, I can give her a certain look, a look of disapproval, disgust, or her brain can go to work and start to create 1,000 scenarios as to what does that mean? What is he saying to me? Is there something wrong with me? You know? And once you do that, circuits, neurons start to form. And as she keeps doing that, she's going to build a circuit in her mind that will even cause her, when somebody who doesn't even know her looks at her, what's wrong with me? Did I do something? Create an atmosphere of self-negative judgment. And that's going to destroy her self-esteem. Now she's not going to feel as good about herself. Now every time somebody looks at her, she's wondering, and because I can give her a particular look that can break her internal strength down, now she doesn't have the ability to stand flat-footed and look at people in the eye and talk to them, because I have broken her humanity. Oh, I wish we understood what God was saying. And people are hurting because the church that's supposed to be full of the joy of the Lord, we have the death and degradation of Satan in us. And I come to church sometimes and I'm like, Lord have mercy. I said, I feel it. I said, I ain't got but 3 people out there that's smiling this morning. The rest of them just like, okay, I'm here to do my job. Here to do my job. And then what we do, we will smile when somebody comes in our presence. That means that you don't have a smile that's genuine.
That's right.
You have a turn-on smile that you put on when somebody comes in your presence. But you go back to that same old dynamic of what Wayne County and the church ethic has put on you, that you just be staunch and stern and evil looking. And then when somebody comes, oh, hey, how you doing? That's flaky, that's phony, that's crooked, that's wicked. That ain't real. That's Hollywood. I do not see people that I don't like. I don't see people that I hate. I don't see people that I got issues with. Once I start to talk with them, I realize I need to have an issue with this one. This was crazy right here. I need to have an issue with this one. Because they jacked up. But I don't meet you with a prejudiced impression in my mind. I meet you openly. I don't care what shape, size, color you are. I don't care whether you're gay, straight, lesbian, transsexual. If you're human, I meet you with an open heart, because I never know if I've got something in me that can help deliver you from where you are.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But see, we're too busy judging everything. And you're not supposed to judge until you have a conversation. When you judge and you've only seen, you're wrong.
That's right. That's right.
You need to have a conversation first, because you don't know what's going on with that person. Lord, look at them prostitutes. Have you ever stopped and asked her anything?
That's right. That's right.
Have you ever said, sweetheart, come here, let me talk to you? I have. Stop and talk to them. And they start telling me stuff. And then they finally get back, because the program is in there. Don't you want to go with me? No. Don't you want to go with me? Let's go to church. Well, I can't make it this Sunday. I got something to do. I know you do. I know you do. Because you do it all week. But baby, this ain't the life. This is not where you need to be. So when are we going to start to act like the Christ that we say we serve? That's all I'm saying. We're going to show you some marvelous things out of this book. Quantum physics. And see, you thought quantum physics was hard. Jesus taught us this stuff. Physics. Oh, I can't take that. That's a hard subject. No, it's not. If you were a good believer, it would be easy, because you'd already understand it. But that tells me we really don't know Jesus Christ, because quantum physics scares us. Physics, oh my God. Chemistry, oh my God. Jesus taught us all that stuff. Well, I ain't got no aptitude for that. Don't tell me that. I know you ain't got no aptitude for Jesus. You can't understand Jesus if you can't at least handle some physics and a little chemistry, because it's all through the Bible. Well, you know, I just want smart in that kind of stuff. Well, you ain't too smart in Jesus then, are you? It's time to stop lying to ourselves. And time to let's go some. Now, don't take my stuff out. Put it in the car here, because I might need it. see, this is a quantum physicist. He'll have my stuff and be transferred it. But y'all have some general idea about what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go, because some of y'all probably have a headache.